Picture this, a crew of witches and pirates. Hormsview, Upsway, all aboard a weathered ship, navigating the high seas. But this isn't just any voyage. We're breeding magical animal hybrids that thrive on cannabis. Imagine a parrot with the wings of a dragon soaring above, while a cat with the agility of a fox tends to our lush cannabis garden. The witches chant spells to enhance growth, while the pirates trade enchanted seeds for treasure maps. Each hybrid brings unique traits. Some can even talk. This wild collaboration creates a new strain of cannabis that sparks creativity and adventure. Who knew the ocean could be a greenhouse of magic?
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? How are you?
Hello, my darlings.
Yo, yo.
Yay, Alebrije's here.
Howdy.
Yeah, welcome back, dude.
Thank you, sir. Good to be back, as always.
Always a pleasure to have you.
It sure is. What were you saying pre-show, dude? Like, there's a lot to celebrate tonight.
There is. It's so this is my fourth visit on Cultivation Conversation, 4 calendar years in a row. And it's also simultaneously the 3rd anniversary of the first drop, Tangy Tibaguana.
Wow.
Also Mexican Independence Day and Gannick's birthday, shout out. So
Happy birthday, Gannick.
so much going on today.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, busy.
Congratulations and happy birthdays and all around. This is
And
great.
happy Mexican Independence Day,
Yeah.
which I always thought was Cinco de Mayo for some reason. It just shows my dumb
it's a
American
super
ignorance.
common misconception. Yeah, you're not the only one.
It is not. No. But that is incredible to me to hear that. Like, this is the 4th year in a row. I mean, good Lord, we're coming up on 200 episodes. More about that later. And it just time flies, man. You know,
It really does.
it's like simultaneously things feel like they're getting like slowing down while also feeling like further away. It's the weirdest kind of feeling.
It is aging.
Times
Yeah.
a little bit.
Aging.
But
Exactly.
3 years since you dropped Tangy, like what a whirlwind since then.
Right.
My goodness.
That was,
Shit.
and we just did drop number 14 in Chicago. So there's been a lot in between going on. So many projects, and I've got a million others in the works. But it's fun. I don't see an end in sight anytime soon.
No, there'll be many more anniversaries to celebrate, man. Just the start of the celebration, really, and it's just an honor to be celebrating with you on the show. So, and
Back
with
at you guys, yeah. And
all the people out there in podcast land.
This was the first podcast I ever did. This is where I pretty much announced the Tangy drop. So very, very appropriate and awesome to be back.
Oh man, it's our pleasure, and it is our pleasure to share it with everyone watching. Like, let's give some shout outs. We got Artificial Equinox, Cumin, Maddie Bloom, Bud and Beer. That's, man, 2 things I love. And we got Eric. We got Yellow Skunk Farms. What up, man?
Hey, let's go.
How's
What up,
the
everybody?
living soil grow? 417 Smoke Ring, Slow Lane, Matt Frat, Rev, J-Saw. Everyone in the house tonight.
What up, everybody?
Hello, everyone. So glad you guys are here.
Indeed.
We are. And we were talking about it last show. Dude, because of, your brand, because of all the fans you've accumulated in this great community of ours, we had the great pleasure and privilege of meeting a lot of these people that we were shouting out in person 2 weeks ago. G3 and I, and you. We got to hang out in person. We got to smoke some tangy tea together, finally.
It was amazing. Yes.
It was, man. And everyone was there to celebrate I guess it was the fourth, and kind of the anniversary party of your brand, right?
The third, yeah. So it's the fourth time on. We did 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025 on y'all's show. But technically,
Nice.
like today is the third actual full years that we've been doing drops. But yeah, that's what September was, and we just sort of treat September as our anniversary month. And we just started 3 years ago doing a pop up on after the first birthday of it, and then kept it going. So this year we did Chicago, and we were super honored to have you both, in addition to a bunch of guys and gals from the community. It was the biggest one yet, for sure.
So what has the evolution of this kind of looked like from the first all the way to this one?
It has changed a lot, and every year, I'm learning mistakes and some ways to improve it and things like that. So in 2023, we did our first pop-up in Richmond, Virginia at Homegrown VA, a really awesome grow shop. I dropped the sticky Sapoyo, and people came from, mostly like up and down the East Coast, but there were, Grateful came down from Connecticut, and a bunch of homies came up from North Carolina. And so it was kind of like a nice gauntlet of the East Coast, but it was really just me selling the packs. And then I did like a little autoflower 101 class, and that was sort of and they did let us, like smoke in the shop, and a handful of people hung out afterwards, and we just like chilled and smoked for a while. But it was sort of just like actually just like a pop-up sale, and that was it. There wasn't really a party involved. And like all the other people who had like come out, like were like meeting up, and they were all going to like smoke and hang out and do things. And it's like we were stuck back at the shop just like selling our packs, and it was like this wasn't the greatest idea. Well, it was a lot of fun and it worked out, but it was like I want to be hanging out with the people. I want to get to know all the ones that came and chill and smoke and just treat it more like a party. So the following year, last year, we did LA, and sorry, my basset hound is over here growling at me. Yeah, so last year we did LA, and we had about 25 people. Again, like it was actually a really nice spread. We had guys coming up from Florida, North Carolina, Connecticut, New York, and then more out in the West Coast, Arizona and California, and all were represented. And it was a great time, but it was small, and it was more like a party. And they bought tickets ahead of time, and we dropped the seed packs there if you already, bought one. But it was just like, snacks and drinks, and it was only like 3 hours, and it was up on a rooftop of this music studio in LA. So it was a very chill vibe. But I was like, we felt like we had to bail out and go grab dinner afterwards, and it didn't feel like long enough to hang out with all the homies. So this past year in Chicago, we the new evolutions were I got the venue for 5 hours this time. We were like, we need more time with everybody for one. I tried to provide more full dinner options, just so people had some food and didn't feel the need to like jet off and go grab a bite, that we could all just chill and hang out. And I think it worked a lot better.
I mentioned how much I enjoyed the deep dish pizza you got on last episode, man.
Nice, yeah.
It was just like super chill vibes. Which
the Pequods was money. I wish the place had delivered to the area. I'm sure they would have done a slightly better job than us, but thanks to Gannick and the crew that had the Airbnb like across the way from the party, that we were able to like get their frozen pizzas and bake them off. And yeah, I had some leftovers the day after, and Pequods is money. If you live in Chicago, don't miss it for sure.
I heard you can get it shipped to you anywhere in the country if you want.
I think so, yeah. It seems like the frozen pie business is pretty big for them as well.
That's cool, man.
Wow, that's dangerous.
So, like 5 years from now, where do you envision this thing going? I mean, are we going to have like
How about next? How about we don't have to jump 5 years? How about next year?
I mean,
What does
really,
next year?
what's next year bring?
But-
And then let's look into the future.
So, I mean, yeah, what I neglected to mention was, so we had 25-ish, maybe it was like 27 with me and my wife in LA, but we had like 50, or it was like 54 with us in Chicago. So it was a lot. It was a big difference. And
Yeah.
people had asked me beforehand if we were going to have staff and things. I was like, no, not really. Like, my wife is just going to man the door, and I'm going to, float around. We're going to order takeout for all the food and sort of set things up. I wasn't, and for the most part, we didn't really need a staff, but I have had some suggestions, one of which I was like kind of bummed that I didn't take more pictures. But Cap, you did a good job.
Thanks.
But I've been told it would be great to like have someone like dedicated, just like a photographer going around and just snapping candid photos.
It's a great idea.
That would be really cool to like capture more of it, because I do feel like this is sort of like history in the making within our, little community. And
Yeah.
I do think in 5-10 years, we're going to look back and be like, oh, remember like back when we first met? That was so fun.
I love that idea, man. You could even do like a selfie booth.
Yeah, love it. I'll set up my Alebrije banner. And
we're all terrible at the picture thing, but it's funny, man. Like you said, you were thinking about getting staff. Like that's, I guess I assumed, you being like this big, massive autoflower brand now, that you would just have people like working the door for you. So like it was your wife there. And I assumed it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, and then I realized, oh yeah, that's Alebrije's wife. I gotta go introduce myself. Like, I'm being so rude, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was just all hands on deck, like a family affair, which I like even more,
She loved meeting y'all, and she said, and especially how comfortable you made her feel, and that you recognized who she was, and because at times she does feel like she got bypassed, and people are always telling me it's so nice to meet me, but she is a backbone and core behind it. I have no staff or anything. 99% of the time it's just me doing every little thing, but come drop time, like she's over there packaging all the seeds and doing all the wax and helping me mail everything out, and I definitely could not do it without her. So I appreciate y'all.
Well,
she's amazing.
She's awesome. Yeah,
I didn't even realize it was her at the door. We walked in and I was just like, hi. The whole thing was just so crazy. It is very weird to like transition from this like online relationships with 90% of the people there to like actually seeing everybody in person all at once. That was like, whoa.
It's so true. It really is a different experience. Like, especially, we know all these people and we interacted with them literally every day for years, but still like meeting that first time in person, it can be a little bit awkward. And, so many of us use the plant for our various anxieties, and me, especially social anxiety. So it does help when other people like announce it out loud. I'm feeling a little like anxious, and you can see it in certain people. And it's funny, there's certain ones who have like really big personalities and like loud senses of humor online, but then in person they were very like shy and reserved and things, and it's good. It's good to get to know the real people behind the screen at times. It definitely, like, your relationship moving forward is forever different, but for the better. You just know another side and another aspect of someone who you've gotten to know online.
Hell yeah. No, it was awesome. I look forward to next year and many more in the future, which I have to imagine. I mean, well, let's. Did we talk about next year?
Yeah. So like moving into next year, like one thing I realized this year is that even 5 hours wasn't enough for everyone to hang out.
Not at all.
people are traveling literally from both sides and all corners of the country.
No, we need a
for this
weekend.
event that, yeah, it kind of needs to span the whole weekend. And so all the Yag boys were doing their thing, and the other crews were out. There was lots of little get-togethers around and outside the pop-up that it made me realize, okay. Unfortunately, like, these things can be a little overwhelming for me to plan, especially just like stress and anxiety wise. They're a little overwhelming. And so like, to like try to make it to the other events, it was a little bit much for me. And so I actually personally missed out on a lot of the side events, which I was bummed about. But it was just a little too much and too exhausting to take on everything. But so next year we're thinking Maine, and I was thinking it could be maybe a little more of a camping thing for those that want. I would like to like rent a big piece of land, which I've looked, and there's definitely some options out there, and you can set up like a bunch of tent sites, and we could do the pop-up out there and do a big bonfire and things, but ideally like close to a town for anyone that would rather like get a room or an Airbnb. And then we could make it like a multi-night thing, because I know people were out camping at Howlings and Stonies and things, and I thought that was really cool that it was just like extended get together, and that seems like what everybody wanted to do.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, and I thought it's the place I was kind of looking at is near Acadia National Park, and I was like, we could go do some hiking and do some whale watching, and just be out in the water and all hang out, and yeah, I think it could be a lot of fun.
Sign me up right now.
Yeah, really. RSVP.
Right?
Get your spots.
Where's the pre-order button?
Yeah. Like, again, there's like so many logistics to figure out, but so hopefully I think it worked out this year that it gave me enough time to sort of plan things by 420, and it can just maybe be like a regular 420 thing where the tickets go on sale, and then it's always sort of like, I was even thinking, like, is September too cold to camp in Maine? So potentially maybe like a late August kind of thing. I don't know. I'll have to look at the calendar and see what weather and what dates and things look like. But hopefully by 420 I can have it all figured out.
Awesome.
For next
year. Yeah. I'm just imagining, again, like I'm trying to picture this thing 5 years from now. Like when 500 people come and like it's turning into like the, annual like hippie fest in like some upstate park somewhere. And it's just like takes over the whole town for a whole weekend in late August. Brings a lot of money in. The locals might not be the most thrilled about it, but you know what I mean? They go along with it because they're making bank.
Right? Yeah, no, I think we need to bring in some staff at that point. But no, I mean, honestly, like, we've had this core little family of podcasts and listeners and breeders that has formed of these last 4 or 5 years. And honestly, that at the core, like, it grows slowly, but it's still this core family. I haven't seen my brand like grow exponentially like crazy over the past few years. It's always been like a really tight core supporting community, which has been awesome. They become like family.
For sure. Dude, it's kind of the same with the podcast, like analytics. It's just like we have a really dedicated group of listeners that tune in every week. Some people have gone back and listened to every episode, and I think they're totally nuts for that. But you can if you
learn a lot. Yeah, no, they're not nuts.
But it's like that's all you need to start a brand, a business, side hustle, whatever. It's just like a couple dozen customers who really support you, and will drive 12 hours to Chicago to go hang out with you and celebrate.
That's it right there.
Worth every second.
It's all it's the dedication and the support for this little family. And yeah, I would do anything for y'all.
Wow. It's not like it just comes as, it's not like it just is like a right or anything. You don't just get these honors as like a a breeder in the community, you have to earn them.
It's true. You got to earn some trust for sure. You got to put in FaceTime, and social media has been a struggle for me at times. I have an addictive mindset, but like I want to be around all these people, and the only way to, we all live in all sides of the country, so the only way to do it is Discord and Instagram. So sometimes I sacrifice my mental health, and thumb goes straight to Discord as soon as my phone opens. But it's always a pleasure to see whoever's chatting and hanging out, and it feels like my closest friends these days, honestly.
It's the coolest,
Totally.
Just little community of like family, but also people who support you, buy your stuff, and want your projects to succeed. It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's lifting each other up,
The switch to Discord was one of the best things to happen to the community. Like that shift into, from what was basically just like, having your own board and posting your own stuff and commenting on other people's things that got so hard. That switch to Discord made that constant communication, being able to access somebody with questions or issues, or to celebrate something, or if you're just like having a rough time and you need somebody to talk to, there's just somebody always there. And I feel like it's brought us all together so much more than we were at the beginning.
So true.
A whole new era.
For me, it feels a lot different. Like I'm not, like Instagram felt a lot more like I'm out trying to market myself or my strains or my brand, and like Discord feels a lot more like I'm just chilling and hanging with friends,
For sure.
So
like
very different
campfires.
Vibes. Yeah.
Pull up to a campfire, sit down, chat to some people. Stroll over to another campfire, sit down, chat to some people. It's great.
For sure.
Those are the vibes. The vibes for sure in all of our servers, at least.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not like that.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, there's certain like Call of Duty Discord servers. They're very intense over there in the gaming community. They're argue, they bicker amongst themselves. They're not very friendly either, but no, we are in the grow world on Discord.
We just like to talk about plants, and which is fun.
Come post plant pics. That's all we want.
Mm-hmm.
Come post plant pics. So before we start rambling too much, I do have to ask you what you're smoking on tonight.
We're like 23 minutes in. Rewind back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just ease on in.
Yeah.
Well, we set it up because it was gifted to me at the pop-up in Chicago by the homie. I think he's watching. I saw him over there, Endo at the Slow Lane. He hooked me up with some of this Sunny Tibuwawa he grew, which is my next and last drop of the year. And he killed it. It's so delicious.
It's so good.
Very chill, very relaxing vibe. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So thanks, buddy.
That's awesome. What is the lineage on that one, man?
So the mom was High Strangeness from Ronin Gardens, which was his Oaxacan Zippolite, like a Oaxacan coastal landrace conversion to autoflower. It was at F5. Super piney cypress, beautiful classic sativa structure, Christmas
exotic.
Tree. It was beautiful. And the mom was the #1 line of the Tangy Rainbows, which is the Rainbow Guava #5 from shout out Mr. Autogrow, with Tangy Tibuguana, and that was nice. That was the #1 was the most narrow line, and it was that what you've got there is the more in line with the Rainbow Guava itself. The #1 line was a little more tangy leaning, and so that was with this High Strangeness to make the Sunny Tibuwawa, which is the Chihuahua shark. Very much inspired by my own little Chihuahua, who's always running circles around me with his little fangs every morning when I feed him breakfast. And it's just like a great daytime strain. It's very old school vibes. It's got a lot of gas and citrus and pine. It's I tested some outdoors this spring, and so part of the name is just referring to that it's a good outdoor strain to grow, and it held up really well to some pretty extreme conditions. 100% humidity in its final weeks. These big old buds were swollen and not a speck of mold or powdery mildew or anything. So they can handle outdoors really well. So anybody looking for a good outdoor auto, if you got a short season or a humid climate, this is definitely one for you.
Hell yeah, man. Damn, I can't believe how many strains you have now, but I guess it's like comes with 4 years into the job, you know?
I can't believe how many I've made that have never seen the light of day, that I haven't even grown or tested myself. It becomes as addicting as just seed collecting as just making seeds. I can't stop. And, you know, I have way more than I'll ever get to. And I try to pass them around to people at times, but yeah, it's funny how many I've made at this point, but so many more that have not been released, honestly.
I don't know where you find the time.
I mean, it's not even necessarily the time. I mean, a lot of them are from the same pollen donors, and it's just like doing big, massive grows and hitting a lot of different moms, And I obviously I go after the ones that I think have more potential than others. So a lot of the ones I haven't grown probably aren't great, but who knows?
My goodness.
Well, listen, I bet you're just way too harsh of a self-critic, and you had like something in mind when setting out to breed a certain strain. For whatever reason, it didn't pan out kind of exactly how you envisioned. You scrapped the project, but like, I mean, it's not like they're gonna be like deformed, or I don't know. Like, I feel like you would probably still get a lot of fire out of the project that you have scrapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and a lot of them aren't even scrapped, just like haven't even gotten around to it. Just like you just go for what you're most excited for in the moment. But yeah, some just like lost interest halfway through, just wasn't seeing anything that really excited me. There's one that it was like an Egyptian landrace. I was real stoked on the male, and made a bunch of crosses, but I tried to carry one forward, and it just didn't really bring the same traits I was after. So it's one I do when I like go back to it at some point. Maybe some of the other crosses had a little more potential, but in the meantime, it was just like, So I just like veered off and went in a different direction. And this Tangy Rainbows has been one I've been working on the last 2 years, but got it to F4. I need to take it to F5 to actually have enough seeds to do a drop, and I want to further inbreed it a little bit further just to stabilize this one particular pheno that I found. So do a bigger hunt of specifically it and carry it on. But in the meantime, I needed to like take a break, and so I was working on this Purple Pakistani Chitral Kush project collab with the Terp Therapist, which has been a lot of fun. And it's nice to like take breaks when you're working on something for a long time.
Doesn't sound like a break.
Switch it up. Yeah, not just a break from a specific project. Yeah, I like, that's why I'm a seed popper. I'm an auto guy because I love constantly having different flavors and different effects going on, and a million different jars to choose from.
There's no better man for the job if you're that obsessive compulsive about it,
Yeah, that's it. It helps for sure.
That's cool. Well, G3, what are you smoking tonight?
I have some cherry banana bomb.
Nice.
She's like some of my last stuff before I am out. But luckily I have some. I have some purple Perezoso coming down in like a couple, like maybe a week ish. She is so interesting. Her trichomes are pink.
Ooh, beautiful. I don't think I ever saw a pink one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Right
post
at the
some pics
top
of
on her
that.
cola. Yeah, I'm trying to get some good pictures of it. I was in there like beforehand, and she's beautiful.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get some pictures. I'll post them. But I was like, these trichomes are pink.
How's
They're,
she have a specific smell going on yet?
she's super funky right now. Like
Nice.
really funky.
Like
I was like,
most Alebrijes
wow.
are.
Yeah, they are. She's like a little bit gym locker, a little bit.
Like that lacto funk.
Yeah, there's something. But
The low
she's
end.
she's definitely going to shift in cure. I know that she is. So I'm not putting anything on her yet. A lot of your stuff does tend to shift slightly
It does, yeah.
to significantly sometimes in cure. And so I think she's going to shift.
Interesting.
It's always fun. Yeah, like whenever I'm starting to like take notes on a certain strain, and I'm noting aromas as it's early in flower, and then it's totally changing through flower, and then it's changing through the dry and early cure, the first few smokes, and then after you've been smoking on it on several months, it's like, oh, now I have all these other notes, and then you quickly have this crazy list of, wow, that went through quite an evolution of aroma profiles to get where we are now.
Yes. Yes.
To
To a point where it's like I don't even trust them when they're growing anymore. I'm just like, you could be a complete liar. I have no idea what you're actually going to turn out to be. It's fun to see it, but I don't take that as almost any sort of indication as what they're going to turn out to be later. Sometimes it can be very different.
I feel you.
They're just like lying to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
feel like
agree.
I'm
Sometimes.
gaslighted by my own plants. I was like, you were like grape and licorice, and now you're not. What happened?
I'm admittedly not the greatest dryer, and so I tend to lose probably a lot of little bit of highly volatiles kind of stuff, and yeah, I think that's where some of the evolution is coming from, obviously, but some of it's just the terpenes themselves being solvents and consuming other solvents at different rates, and their various weights and things.
Now it's all making sense now why like a lot of your strains, have that like low end kind of like funk note to them. I don't think that's an easily volatilized terp from the plant. Like that remains pretty much unless you really mess things up.
Yeah.
Like you'll have a little funk to it. Like, the limonene and like the caryophyllines and those types of terps leave the plant first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, it's G3. You're the resident terp expert. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yep.
Just makes sense. That's what you're like breeding for because that's what works in your own environment, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like working with stress helps a lot because things that do hold up well when poorly done, will hold up. Do a lot better when well done. So
amen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like
Nettie.
Like a Primus song. Yeah.
Nettie's
hey Nettie, how are you?
Hi, Nettie. Thanks so much for joining. But what time is it where you are? Jeez.
Yeah, joining us
3
live from Australia.
From Australia. Like,
man.
oh my gosh, what an honor.
Yeah, talk about dedication. Yeah,
it is. Good to see you, brother.
Wow. Welcome, you cunt.
Hey, if he can drop in on the live, he can come on a live.
Oh yeah. Hey, I told him we could make arrangements for Nettie. I told him we'd get him on like a weekend. He's a working man. He's got a tough job. So we don't want to get him up on a weeknight like that. We'll do a special episode, weekend recording, maybe not even live with Nettie on it. That's what I want to do.
Upside down growing with Nettie.
Exactly.
Guy has been growing insane monsters down there for years, and it's really been fun to watch his Alebrije specifically for me because they're always beasts, and he gives such great feedback, and he's always telling me about some of the old timers he hooks up with the buds and getting their opinions on the autoflowers, and it's really cool. It's awesome to have some really good homies and supporters down in Aussie land down there.
Yeah. He is probably one of the best growers I've ever seen. I love seeing his posts on the Discord.
Yep. He knows how to grow an auto. I don't know if it's like something to do with the reverse Coriolis effect or no idea. Really, there's something going on.
I had some good weed down in Australia. They know what they're doing for sure. It's definitely an old school part of their culture. I think a lot from the Thai and the Southeast Asian kind of realm sort of passed down their way, the same as, maybe some Mexican and Colombian. I mean, America was such a hub. We had, soldiers going all over from Afghanistan and things like that, getting land-rich genetics. But I believe probably a lot of Aussie stuff comes from the Southeast Asian sort of lineage.
Makes a lot of sense. Sure does. So I'm sure you saw my jar, my tangy rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
I am enjoying immensely. What'd you say, G3?
I couldn't miss it.
No. Well, just wanted to show you again. That's I like one of it was probably the biggest autoflower I've ever grown. I mean, this thing had to be monster cropped repeatedly, like early and often, sir.
Nice.
She was huge. I saw her.
Yeah. Like I had to do multiple branches multiple times, and then like I'd come back even 6 hours later, and the thing looks like I hadn't even bent the branch. You know what I mean? There's no damage at all. Like it just wanted to shoot straight up. Totally weird because I have pictures on my phone going back like on my Instagram, which I got back, by the way.
Congrats.
Instagram.
Congratulations,
returned my page. Thank you. But going back, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, the tangy rainbows up until day like 26, 27, 28, 4 weeks into its life, was like the dinkiest little plant in the tent. Like it didn't have any side branching. It was just like a couple little nodes, little lanky looking, right?
Yeah, super slow on the veg. Yeah,
just like, all right, any day now, tangy rainbows, and then 3 weeks later, I'm monster cropping to no avail. Like that's growing autos.
It's true, and it's definitely one that I was well aware of that. I grew a handful of them this fall, as did you and a handful of other testers, and that was the one report, and it was stressing me out real bad. It's like, because that's what I love about autos is that fast, vigorous veg. And these were just like going real slow. However, they all of a sudden go into overdrive when they hit flower, and they're still done in the 90-day range. So I was pleased with the final outcome, but it's one of the reasons I also want to revisit it. And as I take it to an F5,
what do you think you could make them even bigger? I mean, honestly, the slow and kind of like short veg is a feature, sir, not a bug.
It probably is. But
with those genetics, my lord, man.
I was going to simultaneously and hit it back to some of the different generations or some of the different seed moms from the F3s. And maybe I was thinking to pull out a little more hybrid style vigor while still, retaining all the traits I was after. But yeah, as you mentioned it, maybe the size constraint would be an issue for people.
But I mean, she was only 6.5 feet tall.
I like to have that now be the new complaint with autos is they're too big. Instead, like
Right?
3 years ago, 4 years ago, they're too small. They always stunt.
This ain't your grandfather's autoflower. Listen, if you have problems with stunting, like grow a tangy derivative. Like
That's
Oh
true.
my
just
gosh.
try to stunt it. Do your best. Good luck. Throw your best at her.
Yeah, it's so true. And I've got some more coming out. Our holiday strain for this year is another tangy cross. Also gets huge, so
Ooh.
it's going to be a nice little Griswold tree reference
Ooh.
coming. But yeah,
Such
the
a great movie, dude.
Tangy's monster. So it's one of the reasons I've worked a lot with it over the years, and it's truly become a staple in my
Oh yeah.
work.
Everybody loves the tangy crosses. At the pop up, I mean, you weren't cool unless you had a tangy cross in your pocket. Like only the cool kids had the tangy crosses, and the more obscure and like kind of like cutting edge, man, the cooler you were.
No, it was awesome having smoking so many beyond just my own strains that people had grown. There was some killer flower all around, killer
There really
rosin too.
was. It
Amazing
really was.
Badger's hash was incredible. So much good stuff.
Right? I mentioned that last show too. Badger's hash just kind of cut through all the noise at one point. I like got this big rip of it, and it was just like this. Everything else drowned out all the other like highs I was feeling. It was just this like deep, relaxing, kind of focused hash high. You know what I
I
mean?
felt I got the exact same. It's that
Mhm.
it had that classic hashinine terp, that only comes from that aged, bubble hash type. And it just has such a familiar, comforting flavor and aroma, and it was just it ripped. It was very chill. Thank you, Badger. That hit the spot.
Can taste it. I'm like salivating for it
Mm.
now that you mention it.
Right. No, it definitely inspired me to like. It's been a couple years since I did some washing, and I need to anyway with these Tangy Rainbows projects. That's been the whole goal with it. But Badger inspired me. Like, I don't necessarily need to press it to rosin. I would like to press some, but at the same time, sometimes just rolling an old school temple ball and letting it age for a while is pretty badass too.
Everyone agrees.
No doubt.
Badger's hash. Badger's hash. Badger's hash. But yo, I totally do need to press some of this flour at least. I'm sure it'll press really well with the Mr. Auto Grow Rainbow Guava cut in there, and just it had those real long stalk kind of trichomes with like a big head on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully that weak neck that just comes off easily.
Weak neck. Yeah, that's the term I guess you'd be looking for. And it just like musty melon. I got a super super fruit forward phenotype, but it's kind of like a fruit salad, but melon forward.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
can
mean?
see
Almost
that.
like honeydew.
There's so many fruity profile. I mean, again, like the whole realm is in this fruity, funky, but yeah, I get a lot of melony and tropical notes. But then on some, it's like a little stronger from like a little grape and lemon Skittles in there. Just like that sharp little limonene touches that you can pick up on. But always this overriding, like sort of raunchy funk.
That
Always.
low end, that
Yeah.
Primus bass line, just
Those bass
riding,
notes for sure.
riding through the whole song,
Yeah. No, I mean, like I find like the art of perfume like very interesting, and all those, how you build the layers and the bass notes, and yeah, you're spot on. I love a good funky bass note, and then to build fruity on top of it, and
Oh,
different, fruity and floral in different ways.
I don't know, really is kind of like takes a chef's kind of palate for it. You know, all the different flavors combined, and then there's this umami note. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very umami. I get lots of salivating just from opening the jar.
Yeah,
And that,
yeah,
like
yeah.
like you just walked into, you know, an Asian stir fry restaurant type thing, and it's just my mouth is watering for that.
Definitely. Well, yeah, this one's phenomenal. I've been enjoying it. Like, definitely a daytime smoke, keeps me motivated,
Oh yeah.
and just love that about it. I do like it's. I took it out of the dry tent. I feel like a little early, which I guess is erring on the side of caution.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
and especially if you're gonna press some, that's probably not a bad idea. You know, when you, especially just pressing flower resin, a little bit of extra moisture can go a long way in the
All
yield.
right, cool,
Honestly,
cool.
sometimes just slightly over drying just will screw you. So yeah,
I'm gonna
I
make
think
some of this
on the
one.
higher end, like 65 to 67% RH for like some flower resin. Well, I
Word.
grateful
Yeah,
pressed that for
that's.
like a 30% return, I think. So it was solid.
I think
See, it
that's
wasn't too
about
early.
what
It
it
was
is.
just the right time.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You
Yeah.
just gotta be careful about like having too much moisture and like skunking those terps. Yeah, I do that often. Honestly, I pull things wet a good bit, and sometimes I'll just like if I'm not fast enough on the burping, you know, I might leave it the full first 24 hours and then open it up and like fucked myself. Like you can instantly tell. But I'm curious about your new little dry packets, if that might be something that would help me.
Yeah, dude. I'm the same kind of guy. They I tend to take my product out of the tent a little on the early side, have a little like too moist of a product in a jar at like the first couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which again is erring on the side of caution. You can work with a wetter product as opposed to drier. We can burp our jars. That's fine. You know, I'd rather not, but better than an over dry product. So I got a thing in the mail from Big Boveda. Okay, they invented a new thing. It's not a Boveda pack. It's a new brand. It's called Vivi, and I guess what's the site? ViviPacks.com. It's a new thing. So I'm kind of wondering in what way it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's a pack that you put into a jar with a dried flower. But here, I'll bring up the site. We can wonder about it together.
Yeah, I've used Boveda and the Integra Boost packs before. They do what they're supposed to in terms of like the humidity, but they always kind of like fucked my terps, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude, I kind of had the same experience with them.
They just steal them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like
They're
my
just
terps are all in
gone.
that bag. Where'd they go?
They absorb all the
Yeah, I'm
terps.
like squeezing the bag. Like, let them out. Let them out. No.
And that was literally their whole marketing campaign was to save the terps. Like, what the fuck are you?
Well,
Are y'all using the same thing we're using?
so in all fairness, like that was a thing they kind of invented for like the cigar market,
True.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been saying for a while now, like I think that the RH percentages associated with those packages have carried over into how we go about drying and curing our product now, in like the 62 to 58% range is everyone's target, where like that might not be the best range if we're talking about like the flower you're going to smoke right now that you want today. I think that's a little too high. I think that just comes from that industry, and it just kind of carried over. So this is a new thing. It's called Vivi. Let's see, like the thing is 50 to 55% target packs. Like, I don't know, can we see?
I agree. That's like probably a better like actual just like for using flower. That's probably a much better range.
Like an immediate usage, like, yeah, that's what I'm going for. 53, 55%. I think like that's a little bit extra dry, and you got like a little bit crisper, kind of more condensed product. That's what you want now. So you get like it looks kind of like the Boveda pack, but in that it is a lower target RH, and it is intended for a bigger like jar size. It says 3 to 12 ounces.
Wow.
If you notice that. Yeah. So you're not going to be putting these in a normal mason jar thing like that. That's
Didn't
way
they have
too
one
little.
in a small jar on the front homepage?
Did they?
Yeah. What if you only have like an
I don't.
ounce?
Yeah,
Look,
dude, they totally do.
that's
They
not
totally
a
do.
3-ounce jar.
No,
That's like a
no.
pint.
Yeah, no, that's way less than 3 ounces in a jar there. So, I mean, unless I'm
Yeah, and I don't use giant jars because then your headspace is generally going to be too much. You're dealing with too much air in between it. Things are just not going to work in your favor. It's way easier to work in smaller spaces with less headspace.
I agree. I mean, like when you're actually like trimming, it is nice, just like a half-gallon jar that, you don't have to have so many vessels.
Yeah.
But then like when you're smoking through it and you're like halfway through the half-gallon, you're right, G3 is like way too much airspace. And especially when you're like popping that jar once or twice a day, it quickly gets a little much and oxidized. So I agree. I prefer just like I have tons of 1-quart jars that I use.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is.
I like
now
the
I'm
Grove bag into the jar,
confused, honestly, because
into my grinder.
I even asked. I was like, it says 3 to 12 ounces. Like that's way bigger of a size container than I'm used to storing my product in. Like they're like, yeah, well, if you use less than that, like it can speed up the process, which could lead to undesirable results. Yada yada yada. So now I'm thoroughly confused by it. I don't
It's a
know.
pretty wide range too, 3 to 12.
3 to 12 ounces. Like, yeah,
It's like very different from each other for a single
it's
pack.
Like, like 3 ounces to about a pound, like of dried flower.
It's like completely different.
It's a large range, dude. So I ended up throwing a pack in like my Cure tub, like it's in like the big tub. But now, yeah, I don't even know, man. I like honestly, I got nothing else to even say about it other than now I'm confused
suspicious.
and suspicious. Exactly.
well, it will be fun to see what you think. You gotta try it for us and let us know.
Only put them in with plants that you don't care about losing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's true. I don't have them in with a lot of product, but like what I can say is maybe I'll try to use it like it's pictured, and not worry about the 3 to 12 ounce thing. Like that's confusing to me. But like if I just throw it in a jar for 10 days, what will happen? I'll let you know. I'll be a guinea pig. Maybe I'll sacrifice one of my many jars of tangy rainbows to that science experiment.
do it.
Dude, she yielded about 10.5 ounces.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Little Canny washed that one at like 4.9% for fresh frozen, including all of the food grade and everything. But yeah, he had pulled 1,800 grams of buds off of it. So it was like almost like 90 grams of hash of this one autoflower. I was like, holy shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, hey, I'll let you guys know. But it seemed kind of cool. That's all I know.
I mean,
I'll be very curious, honestly.
It's something that I always tend to need help with, is all I'm saying. Like, if there is a product like that's not going to steal my terps, where I can just throw it in a jar and 10 days later, boom, like magic, I got like what appears to be a more crisp, dried, cured flower, then hey, all the better. But again, yeah, I mean, I'm very skeptical.
I mean, their whole thing is like you're supposed to be able to not burp, right? So you can kind of, it's automating your cure. But okay, it's really important to check your flower when you're curing, to look at it, to smell it, to touch it, to make sure that the process is going the way that you want it to, and you don't have to intervene and change something, because otherwise you just leave something in there and I don't know, you're really leaving it up to chance. But drying the cure, as much as it's a pain in the ass, is part of the growing process, and we're responsible for it.
And
so
you guys have said it many times, but it's probably the hardest part, and definitely for me it is, because I live in a super humid area, and so yeah, I'm interested. Like, can I throw that in a jar for like 2 days maybe, and just like get it slightly more crisp,
a little bit crisper? Who knows?
Or I'm also very interested in doing like a DIY one of these canitrols I've seen out there. I don't know if you smelled any of Ganic's Sunny Tea at the pop-up, but that shit was insane. It was super loud.
And that was dried in like a canitrol.
Yeah, and I was very impressed. It was, he said he like was just burping the jar and it woke his wife up. It was so intense.
You stole my heart.
Loud burp.
I mailed some, allegedly mailed some home, and that was making me nervous, that one in particular.
That's cool, man. Well, yeah, no, that's something I think we all struggle with. We will see, but let's get back to you and what you got going on, sir. The future of autoflowers, I think, is really bright. Like, we're at a great place right now, but we're only accelerating into like more and more possibilities. It's just like, you've kind of been at the forefront of that.
I love what the autoflower world is turning into, and it's so cool. It's not just, breeders out there selling seeds. There's like massive amounts of home growers just doing some home breeding projects, and beyond, even just like a simple pollen chuck. I know a handful of guys who don't sell seeds that are like currently working on photo to auto conversions of like pretty unique landrace and old school strains, and so it's a really cool time to be in the autoflower world and watch this gene pool like grow and add some of these really amazing old school plants that we all love, and for the building blocks of the photo period gene pool today, and it's kind of working back through with the autos. So I try to do my part. I'm trying to, start a bunch of photo period conversions and ever increase always.
So working on more photo to auto crosses.
Yeah, I've got
really
tons started.
Just hit the pause button on all these projects.
I mean, yeah, like that's where you have to like kind of take your time and just choose one maybe to work forward. So this summer I was collabing with the terp therapist, is one of those guys I was mentioning, who's like, he's got some really cool landrace collection of seeds, and I know he wants to work some of these longer Thai or Lao strains into auto format, and that's certainly like some of I share that philosophy that a lot of these, unrealistic strains for people to grow in their tents is like, maybe the auto trait is a way to make this a little more accessible for everyone. And you don't have 16 to 24 weeks to flower this. Maybe we can it's never going to be the exact same, obviously, but maybe we can pull a lot of these traits, and who knows what minor terpenes and cannabinoids and other, volatile compounds might be in there. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool watching these guys. But so this summer, I kind of switched away from the tangy rainbows and was working on this. It's my Kim Labrada, which was the dog walker with Marathon OG. And he hit that with his purple Pakistani Chitral Kush male, made the F1s, sent them to me. I made the F2s outdoor this summer, which was a lot of fun because I mostly breed indoors and I had forgotten how amazing nature is and just letting natural selection do its thing. And I came up with some really, really hardy genetics in the end of it because I had these plants out there in like 1 gallon pots, middle of the summer. It would be like 95 degrees on most days. And I couldn't get out there for 3 or 4 days at a time. And they were sitting there, a lot shriveled up. But I ended up with 4 that had incredibly drought, heat tolerance, and in the end they proved to have like extreme mold and PM tolerance as well. It rained a lot in their final weeks, of course. Exact opposite of what you would have wanted.
Not what you want.
Yeah,
like
could have used all that rain back in veg and early flower. But
was it in pre-show you mentioned like stress being like just a key factor in breeding, or was that during the show?
I think it was during.
If it was, hey, reiterate it. Like, I know our buddy Joint does the same thing. Like he mentioned it in his book, which I've been enjoying. Like it's just like, stress your plants out, like keep them in inhospitable environments, and if they can survive that and your breeding protocol, then like a not quite perfect grow tent, but it's going to be just fine. You know what I mean?
Right. And it was cool, even if I don't plan to do the next generation outdoors, but I was just knowing what that mother was able to withstand makes me know that strength and character is there, even if the next round is going to be the F2s. I want to do this fall, winter sometime. And these are reg seeds, so the F2s is where I'm looking for the auto trait. So it'll just be a matter of popping, 40 or so of these plants and under 24 hours of light, and just looking out for the first males to show, and then selecting one, and then hitting everything that flowers under 24 hours, and then picking a favorite, and I'll probably fem it from there. But it's really fun. It's really fun trying out different types of projects and working on some land races and some modern hype strains. And I've tried to work with mutants. I haven't had much luck with pollen taking, but I love the mixed ratios and minor cannabinoids. I don't want to paint myself into one box ever, except for maybe the autoflower trait. But anything within that, I love to mix in the world.
Oh yeah, we love it from you.
Just follow your heart, wherever that may lead you. Just work with whatever strikes your fancy at the time.
I see they all have their different time and place. And earlier this fall indoors, I was working on my pure CBD line, and doing a bunch of full CBD crosses and some CBD dominant mixed ratios, which I've been really excited about too, because I love the medicinal aspects of the plant. Obviously THC can do a lot as well, but recently in my aging, I find so much from CBD and CBG, and I wanted to have my own, just for a large stash of seeds, but I wanted to have my own pure CBD and pure CBG strains so that I can just make concentrates myself, because I use it a lot in edibles and pills and things. And so yeah, that was what I was working on this summer, and I was really stoked to be popping it all this fall and get it tested. But I've just found out that apparently come January 1st that all cannabis testing facilities have to be DEA registered. And so I think that kind of ruins some of my plans. I had a testing facility within a couple hours I was planning to take it all to, but yeah, Damn.
You hate it here.
You'd just be bringing it right to the feds, man.
Yeah. Hey.
Like, what do they think? What do they take
Look
us
what I'm
for?
doing.
Yeah, literal idiots.
Yeah. So, no, fortunately, I
Oh,
think I got
man.
some friends who have licensed facilities that can hopefully get the testing done. But on these specific projects, it really is necessary for the breeding work and to be able to authentically say this is the ratio I've locked in, and this one really is full CBD, and it's got less than this amount of THC. I do want to be. I don't really care to test my full THC strains, but the medicinal lines, I do think it's pretty important.
Absolutely. There are plenty of people out there, if they're counting on one cannabinoid and they don't want that THC and they can't have that impairment, or they can't pop positive on a drug test.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they still want the ability to use the medicinal abilities of the plant. So that's incredible. I commend you for going the extra step and making sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, part of it's selfish for my own needs. I would love to know exactly what I'm making at home, and I wish there was a better home testing device out there, but we're yet to be seen, I think.
Someday.
Hey,
I have faith. In the next 5
possible.
years, we'll get something really incredible.
Yeah.
Terpenes and cannabinoids are becoming more and more more accessible.
Yeah.
The education is there. More people are talking about it. More industry places are putting it on their labeling. So a lot of people are choosing based on terpenes and cannabinoids and choosing the correct strain for what they need it for medically. So I really think we're going to see a big jump in that area very soon.
I think so too.
Fingers crossed.
I think you're right. I mean, I think at least for the educated consumer, yeah, there'll still be a mass who just like the THC percentage or cookies brand name or whatever. But I think everyone listening to this podcast will be well educated enough to know, look for the terps, look for the cannabinoid
All I need
profile.
is a SoundCloud wrapper and a fancy Mylar pack. And you got me. I'm a customer for life.
I'm so out of tune with what the legal markets are actually like. I just float in this home grow world and forget about all this fake.
We're the lucky ones to be
terp
honest,
sprayed buds
way.
and
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
it is.
We are the lucky ones. Well, with all the choices of genetics at our disposal, I mean, truly.
It's just so fun to see what
you home grow,
see what is out there, and just be able to pick and choose what you want and what sounds good for your tastes, and
dude, especially with autos being what they are now. It just if you're living in a state where it is legal for you to grow a couple plants outside, just throw some autos in a couple pots at the beginning, in May, right?
Yeah.
It just starts to get nice. You got May, June, July, harvest beginning of August, mid-August, right?
Yeah.
It's still going to be nice anywhere you are in America. You owe it to yourself.
Down in my neck of the woods, you could do 2 runs. You could do an April run and then plant again in June, and you'll pull 2 summer harvests. Oh. Yeah.
Right. Even if you're tent pirates, I know in Prohibition land, it's super easy to hide an auto or 2 in a tomato patch. A couple monster sunflowers, just shielding them from view. Very easy to do this.
And honestly, that's one thing that truly attracts me about some of the mutant plants and the freak shows and the ABC work, and it is that discretion factor. And it's I really feel like I could get away just planting a bunch of these out somewhere and no one would really notice. The only thing that might give it away in the end is just the smell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those last couple weeks.
Yeah. because honestly, the breeding work that's being put into the mutants is very much the same and parallels what's going on in the auto world. And that, like, there's some guys down in Australia, shout out to Ben Chicken down there, who's like very much like crossing modern awesome hype strains with ABC. And then, in that F2 generation, he's looking for the leaf mutations, but also finding the bud, the quality of the better, the more modern strains.
So he's like treating that leaf mutation as like the autoflower trait.
Exactly.
In the breeding program.
I mean, and same with the the guys, Shapeshifter, who did Freak Show and stuff. It's that same. It's that magical F2 generation when all the like lineage unlocks from those grandparent traits, that you can find these unique combinations of a leaf mutation or an autoflower, but you can still find it with some of the better traits that came from its cross parent.
That's so cool, man.
It is. It gets me excited to hear about the mutant work, the same like the auto work does, and it's just like sometimes I see the photo period world and it's just like, oh, you're crossing a hype cut with another hype cut, selling the polyhybrid. And okay, yeah, it's cool. Like, I'm sure the weed's great, but sometimes the breeding work doesn't like get me super excited, like some of these other projects going on that I read and hear about.
Dude, I hear you, man. I think it's mostly a result of the market forces being enacted upon the breeders and what consumers ultimately are looking for, or what they think they're looking for. You know what I mean? Like education kind of drives it all at the end of the day too. If we can wisen up these kids about what they're smoking, man, then
right,
maybe they'll make better choices, and it won't just be about THC numbers and like flashy branding and stuff. They'll like be discerning cannabis consumers.
Yeah, I hope so. You just inspired. Like, I want to go back and educate the youth. Like, how do I educate the 16-year-old stoners who were like me, who would have killed to have some of the knowledge that I have now? 16-year-old me would have been really proud of 38-year-old me now. I would think I was a cool guy back when I was a teenager. So that's like, I would like to go find those kids and like be like, let me take you under my wing. Like, you need to learn about good weed before you like fall into this modern industry of what's going on.
I love that litmus test. Would your high school self think that you right now are worth smoking a joint with?
I think so, yeah.
I have to say I think so too. Yeah,
yep, for sure.
I think he'd be like, "Wait, you're doing what in your attic?"
That's so cool, man.
Wait, really?
High school me would also like smack me sometimes at how I'd be like, just like throw weed away. It's like, this bud fell on the floor, just toss it. High school me would smack me. Like,
there might be a fight. There'd be some words exchanged between high school me and current me for sure. But I think we could smoke a J.
It would be fun to go back and impart some wisdom on high school me.
Litmus test. Like, no, and how do I reach these kids? Is always my question too, man. It truly is. If we can educate the next generation of consumers, that drives everything, man. So like, if they're out there demanding like cannabinoid percentages and terpene profiles on all their products, then like, by God, we're gonna get them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I want that too. I want accessible testing and all that stuff, if only for the possibilities it would open up for breeders like yourself.
It would help out the work a lot. It's everything out there seems to try to tamper down, and it's amazing still this day and age how much pushback there still is and misinformation. But
For sure.
I see why. There's a lot of money that, stood to be made and lost from various other industries. So
yes,
all the puzzle pieces fit, but it's a shame.
They're opening it up, but while still like maintaining a level of fear about it, just to keep the product controlled by, albeit different forces than it was like 20 years ago. But it's still like a little. It's just a cabal. It's just a different one now. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I think the cat's out of the bag though, because other places around other countries around the world are legalizing, and I think that'll have to push it, and where it's like, oh, we can't be left out of this global trade and tourist market and events, and there's so much money and potential behind this plant that I think as we watch European countries legalize and South American countries legalize, and hopefully Thailand will flip back around and more Asian countries will follow suit.
Right. What a bait and switch on
right?
Thailand.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's legal, guys. No, actually, wait,
No,
we changed our mind.
Yeah, we've just like created this massive, market and industry, but we'll put the cat back in the bag. It'll be fine.
Right? Yeah, it's like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. That's just like not how things work. It's just, yeah, once there's already, like you said, like an industry formed around it, and like people had like shops, and it's just like, yeah, how do you put a damper on all that? It's very hard.
Nettie goes to Thailand like every year and kind of been keeping me informed on the market, and he said that it's still very much alive and active.
Good.
That they really haven't been able to put it back in the bag. So
no, I couldn't imagine they would be able to.
You can like pass the law saying you want to, but yeah, it's just like that's universal law, not mine. It's just you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. It's just it's not how shit works.
I went to Thailand well before legalization, and it was still pretty prevalent and out there and easy to find. It's one of those countries where it's like deeply rooted in the culture that it's not going anywhere. It's always been around.
It's true. Oh, what up, Terp Therapist? Says play Money Trees by Kendrick.
What up, brother?
Hey, Alexa. So yeah, dude, you have too many breeding projects you got going on. Really? Like,
I start things that I want to, I have so many things in F2 generations that I'm dying to take to F3. I have
and then you got all the scrapped projects, like the boneyard.
Lots of boneyard to test
pick
through.
Up any of them at any time and just like start actually, like, which way does Alebrije go? It's just
part of it. Sometimes is just I like to give a lot of freebies and things away, so I like to just have some options, and I usually try to test those at some point. A lot of what I was growing this summer was, what are the potential freebies? What's decent, from a lot of this boneyard stuff, and I did find some fun ones.
Hell yeah!
So it is too many things going on, but it's not a bad problem to have at the same time. It's really just my own excitement that's hard to contain about like choosing which to go next. But I'm in the process of expanding my grow facility, and hopefully by the end of this year into early next year, I should have a lot more room to work with, and I've kind of like laid out a plan in my head about how to do certain breeding projects at the same time within the same realm of what's going on, and certain ones that I don't intend to release, I can probably be a little more flexible and have more projects going on at once, in case there was some pollen cross-contamination or anything. It's like, well, these seeds were never going to hit market anyway, because there's a lot of generations that I work that are, I know going into it is like, this generation I'm making a lot of moms, and I'm making a lot of seeds in all these moms, but I'm only going to choose one, and I'm not even going to release this generation. So I ended up sitting on a lot of seeds too. That's why a lot of them, especially from this rainbow guava project, like the freebie in LA last year and the freebie in Chicago this year, were both, working, an F3 generation and an F4 generation from that project, but it's still ongoing. It's still going to go to F5 for a little more stabilization and a little more what I'm after. But yeah, I need some freebies to give out, and I've got a lot of seeds, so it's nice. It's nice having places and outlets for them too.
It is, man. Now, one thing I think I was telling you at the pop up too, like as much as we all like want to see you become like the next biggest thing in the autoflower community, like we also kind of don't. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like getting too big. Like, can you talk a little bit about the struggles of autoflower breeders and scaling and like remaining authentic, but like meeting demand for the product? Just like, yeah, how do you weigh all these variables and like what's best for your
Totally.
brand?
Totally. I mean, like I've found for me, it's better to just stay small. I've found that, as far as how we do our seeds and our packaging and everything like that, the whole drop, I would be overwhelmed to do much more than like 100 packs of a strain. So that's around what we've kind of locked in towards. Some of it goes along with like when I order the pens, you order 100, you get like 110. So I always keep one for myself. So we might like shoot for 109 packs that we'll release, but that was totally based on the number of pens that we got. We had the seeds, and I always like to keep, at least 50 to 100 seeds back for myself, of any given strain. So if it's something I want to revisit, I've got it. So sometimes it, seed quantity depending, plays a factor, but it's big for me because typically I'm only using one seed mother. I'm sure some of the bigger operations must have like a handful of moms. So mine are always coming from one specific single mom, which allows me to be a little more consistent and speak a little more consistently, or be a little more accurate in my descriptions. I hope, again, we're talking seeds and we're talking, wide range of environments that they're being grown in. So there's always going to be different little expressions and phenotypes and whatnot.
Variants.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. But I do think it helps having a single seed mom. But yeah, as far as like our packaging goes, like it's all very like each package has 5 hand stamps with 3 vials of seeds that are hand counted and individually waxed, and then they go in this pack with a lineage card I have made, and we wax those packages, and then I spray paint these shell boxes with that. So yeah, it's very labor intensive. Our drops.
Have I showed these? I mean, look at the bag, for Christ's sake. It's a piece of art that I'm never throwing out. You know what I mean? Like, this is awesome. And then, yeah, like the box that the genetics come in, like, also punk rock artwork, beautiful. Inside the box just continues to get better. Like, you get your pins. Right, this is the Chicago one is so cool because it's a bull bear. Then it struck me like, oh yeah, the bulls and the bears.
Classic, had to.
Makes nothing but sense, man. Like the box with the wax seal, like that's some Maker's Mark level attention to detail. You know what I mean?
Big shout out to my wife on those. But yeah, like, so I don't see us ever like being able to grow much bigger beyond that. We like just kind of doing it small batch, and if anyone has an issue, they can find me on Discord. I like to be available. I like not a ghost behind a big brand name or anything. So I very much like being a small craft breeder and doing everything myself.
I think the best autoflowers will always be the small operations. They will always be the single mother seed production type things. Like I wish we had labeling about that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's single origin scotches. Why don't we have single source pollen?
I was, on that same note, I was going to start labeling some of my art as like, this was not made with AI, like I do want to always give like a big shout out to whatever human artist like did the artwork, except for that Chicago one. I hate that artist. Nah, I did the art on that one. So, it's always important to me to like highlight art as a big part of the brand as well, which is, again, you can't mass produce art. So.
No, man. You said it. It's all art, from the seed making to the brand itself and all the art involved in it. It's like, yeah, like it'd be cool to see us sell like 1 million packs, but those 1 million packs wouldn't have the same level of love and like actual awesomeness that you're currently getting in the boxes. So like, kudos to you, man. It's just,
thank you, brother.
You can really tell it's a passion. You can really tell that people know it's a passion. Like the passion is being transmitted because people are driving across the country to come see you, man, and like celebrate what you're doing. It's infectious. It really is.
Well, we talked about that at the pop-up as well, you and I, where it's like, yeah, I'm happy to be the host and like be one of the pillars of the community, one of many though, but it was truly everyone like coming together to see each other. Like if it was just them individually meeting me, no one would have come. It was that everybody knew each other was going to be there, and it's fun to all just get together and hang out and trade weed and smoke weed and talk plants and just shoot the shit in person for a change.
Yeah, show off our tangy derivatives. I grew the best tangy cross. No, I grew the best tangy cross.
Well, it's another thing, like I think most of these events out there are competitions, and that's cool. I'm not opposed to competition, but I think just community and collaboration is more what I'm into. So I think it's fun to just come together and just hang out with no comp or anything in mind, or no judgments, or
You're totally right. And it wasn't even like no one was saying I grew the best anything. In fact, it was other people saying like, you know what, you like that thing you grew is incredible. Holy shit! Like it was just everyone lifting each other up.
There was a whole lot of love going on, and
yeah.
So many people made awesome edibles to share. Shout out to the Mr. and Mrs. Dowd Terps.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
All those
they're
goodies.
the most lovely people too, like just incredible people. And oh my gosh,
did you try
cookies.
The cookies,
so good.
The Rice Krispie treat?
Oh yeah.
Now, did you try the cosmic brownie Istig made?
Oh yeah. I brought a couple of them home. Yeah, Istigs were no joke.
Dangerous,
for sure. Dangerous. Slept fantastic that one night. Those brownies were killer.
They sure were, man.
And that was like a new addition this year that like in no previous years had anyone like brought edibles or anything like that. So that was a really cool new vibe that next year I'm totally like, I brought some gummies myself for everybody, but I totally want to do more baked goods, and I'm a big edibles guy as well. So I thought that was really cool.
For sure. Well, I've been getting into them a lot more now that like really I'm encountering recipes that like don't taste a thing like cannabis. Not that I don't like the taste of weed, but I kind of don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not in my food. Just don't. Some people do. I prefer not to taste it, and I still like the product to be like really strong. So like, how do you bridge that gap?
It's an art.
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes.
Yeah, well, we have some wizards and witches in our community doing it right for sure.
Thank goodness.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Great. Yeah. So
you've done all of these like You've done ratioed stuff. You've done collaborations with other people in the community. You've done stuff specifically for washing. You have dabbled in mutants. Like, is there anything on your list that you haven't done, like a holy grail, I still have to do this type thing? Or are you kind of just like, anything that comes along that seems interesting now is just...
Yeah, anything that seems interesting. The mutant interest is, again, because I live in Prohibition land, and I just think would be such a cool thing to be able to just, throw a bunch of auto-flowering mutants out that didn't look like cannabis. So that's where that interest comes from. And the mixed ratio is all just for the healing I've found from them, and I want to keep exploring those and seeing what works with my endocannabinoid systems. And now the landrace kind of work is I want to put more time and effort into. I've started a purple Zacatecas autoflower conversion. I've started one from Gara, Jalisco, which is another Mexican landrace. I've started one from Guanajuato Mountains. So I've got 3 Mexican landrace projects working. And I've got the Packy going on with Terp Therapist, but I want to do some more Afghan and like that side of the world, more of the indica, broadleaf, traditional kind of stuff. Like to make every realm, every possibility of, I can have in autoflower format. Sounds good to me.
You can't lock this man down. Just it could still be like your next drop or 2. I feel like could be anything, and I would be like, oh yeah, that makes nothing but sense. He did mention he's working on that.
There's a lot of random things that are just going to show up one day.
It's just like, you've done. I feel like broadleaf would be a cool way to go. I mean, you have a lot of narrow leafers just because you've been working Tangy and her many.
I agree. And I keep trying to get Howling to. Howling's been talking about this Salmoso. That was one of his favorites of my broadleaves, and he wanted to F2 it. And I said, yeah, go for it. And in the meantime, like, hit some like major broadleaf photo periods and give me some projects to work on to bring more broads into the world. But keeps dragging his heels. But I'll either way. I'm gonna do it if he doesn't.
Yeah, light a fire. My art really likes broadleaves.
Salmosa needs to come back for sure. I too have been missing a little more broadleaf in my life. I always have something going on, but lately it's been more like medium hybrid kind of stuff. So yeah, I do need some more heavy broads going on.
Well, I know we were tossing around a little Rom Scotty autoflower, perhaps like Captain's Cut.
That's what I love. I love, reaching out to people like you and it's like, oh, you found an awesome cut. Like, I would love to work that into an auto, and it'd be a collab project between us. And, the same goes for anyone in the community. If you got something awesome in the photo world, holler at me. It might not come out next year or 2 years. It might be like, a 5-year project or something, depending on how space and things go. But it's fun to get them started. It's fun to have options. And, sometimes you get, burnt out or bored working on the same thing for a few years, and it's time to pivot.
If you get started working on something now, just think, in that 5-year meetup somewhere in like the Black Hills in like South Dakota, we're gonna have like 100-acre property. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like the next Burning Man type situation. Just massive meetup, like multi-day festival type thing. Like I said, all the locals in town are gonna just like, they're gonna roll their eyes, but they're gonna love it at the same time, because we're the friendliest people. We bring the economy, we clean up after ourselves, and just there to lift each other up and smoke a shit ton of weed.
Definitely.
Peace, love, and cannabis.
That's what we do for sure.
But yeah, you could finalize the project at that meetup, pass around the samples around the bonfires, and yeah.
Yeah, that was cool too. There was definitely some seed trades going on. Shout out to Paranoid. I had sent him. He had like specifically reached out to me and asked for a bunch of CBG seeds, and I had 5 different strains, CBG crosses. I sent him. And he was like, "Oh man, I don't have my seeds, like, but I'm gonna be in Chicago, and somebody's bringing them to Chicago." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And he like whips out this like huge cooler at the end of the pop up, and was like, "Choose whatever you want, man." And I found some cool stuff. I got Strawberry Fantasy from Bodhi Seeds, and this Dr. Banana Head like CBD banana OG cross he gave me. Like, yeah, so it was cool to
awesome,
all fun stuff. It's great just being there and trading weed, trading seeds.
Yeah,
that's what we're all obsessed with.
Trading awkward glances. That was my favorite part. We can trade weed stories anytime online. It was trading those side-eyed kind of half-baked stares with one another, and like, the like social anxiety fueled like lookaways when you're talking to one another, and you just like kind of break eye contact for half a second. Like, we were all doing it.
Totally.
It's a beautiful thing, though.
I have a hard time. I try to like float around and chill and at least have a puff with everybody. But this year there was like a lot, and it was like I felt like I was cut short on everybody. But I tried to make the rounds.
Nah, man, 5 hours not enough. Not nearly.
I don't
enough.
even think
Right.
I didn't even catch up with everyone who was there.
I know. It seems like it wasn't that crazy or that big, but it was big enough to where like there was a lot of people floating around, and it was hard to catch up with everyone for a long period of time. Yeah. But
it was just awesome, though.
So many good vibes.
Yeah.
Can't wait till next year.
Next year gonna be lit.
For sure.
RSVP.
Yeah, we're gonna do a full weekend in Maine. Everybody get ready.
With a selfie station.
Yeah.
Have like a charcuterie kind of thing going on.
I like it.
Maybe.
I like it. Maybe a big lobster boil, big crab boil or something like that. We definitely got to get some seafood, and we got to get something that works well on a big bonfire. I wanted everybody next year will be everybody's gonna I'll provide all the sausages and hot dogs.
You know what? There's
lobsters,
so many...
and everybody cook them over the fire.
I was gonna say we should have like a cook-off, dude. There's so many
now you're talking.
Good chefs in our community. We should have like a chowder cook-off or something.
Ooh, I like it.
I mean?
Yes.
Who can make the best New England style chowder?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Or, something like that. I don't know.
This one worked really well this year because I think there's such a big hub of us in the Midwest. But I think next year's the same. I think there's so many up in the New England area that I think we're going to have a nice big crowd again for sure.
Heck yeah. Oh, if Kush Cat makes it, absolutely.
Yes.
His wife has bomb charcuterie.
Oh,
another fine group of people I had the pleasure of meeting in person. Just like amazing, really. And the charcuterie was out of this world, off the charts.
Where was this? That wasn't the pop-up, was it?
No. That was a little side action.
Gotcha.
I had going on.
Gotcha.
So
not even this past weekend.
No, yeah, that was a while ago too.
A while ago.
I was like, how did I miss the charcuterie?
He is still talking about this, and this was a while ago.
Just awesome people, and I hope we can meet again. That's all. Maybe next year, guys. Yeah, make it a point. Make it a point to be there too. If it's something you think you can possibly do, I promise you're not going to regret it.
It really is becoming this real life group of just good friends, all coming together with different backgrounds from all different parts, but we all have this common love of the plant and growing and hanging out together online. That's just been so much fun. It's fun to put it together in real life too.
Heck yeah. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah, man. Well, dude, again, like time flies, like we mentioned.
Jesus,
it's been 4 years, like since we had our first show, but it's also already been like an hour and 40 minutes since we started talking tonight.
It has. It flies by.
It's just, I think it is getting old. Like it's, like you have more of a reference point to look at, so time feels like it's speeding up as it passes. You know what I mean?
And we have our very predictable phases of the year, you know, that we plan on, and you know, you almost kind of jump ahead. You know, in September we're already drinking pumpkin spice coffee and pretending like it's late October. You know, we're always like a few steps ahead and like trying to make time move faster. So just gotta live in the moment when you can.
You're right. You know, and even tonight, like all I've been asking you is like, well, what's coming next? What you got? What's next? What's next? What's next? It's like sometimes you just got to stop and celebrate the present. You know, like it's important shit.
It's true.
So where can they find you presently? For those that don't know, I don't know if anybody doesn't, but you don't.
You can find me on Discord hanging out, and there's a link to my Discord on the homepage of my website, the little Discord icon up there. It's alebrijegenetics.com, and I'm also on Instagram, not very much these days, but I still have an account, so it's alebrije.genetics. There's the site. This is the last. So I've had this site from the beginning as well, and it's about to get a whole refresh and update coming in the new year. So, go on there, enjoy it. Well, this one's Squarespace. I made it myself.
Copyright 02.
Right. 22.
22.
Yeah.
Jeez, 02.
Yeah.
Written autoflowers for 23 years.
I'm showing my age. These darn kids these days.
Started doing it back in middle school.
When I was breeding with the lowrider back in 02. They didn't even have that back then, did they?
Yeah, so I'm going to be working with another community member. Nerd Grows is a badass website designer, so I'm stoked to.
That is awesome. Yeah. Speaking of awesome, I got in on this drop. I got the sweatshirt in the mail, I believe, coming my way.
They should be landing any day now. I shipped them all out on Monday, I think. Yeah, they turned out awesome. Yeah, I'm stoked for y'all to get them.
I can't wait to wear it on the show all winter.
Hell yeah.
Warm. Made of hemp.
Oh, speaking of, I need to show my badass hoodie that G3 made me. Look at this thing. It's all solar printed with cannabis leaves. It's got my logo and a big leaf over here on this side.
Dude.
G3 brought me this at the pop-up, and it was so sick. I was really stoked on it.
So glad you like it.
It was my favorite thing from the whole pop-up. It was so
that makes me so happy. I can't even tell you.
She's really good at that stuff.
She is.
Thanks.
I was
it was really fun to do.
And I've seen some fun. Cool ones and giveaways, and I missed out. So I'm so happy to have one that's
there's
my
more
very
of it
own.
Coming. So more will be coming. So
don't miss out, y'all.
So
cool.
Fun stuff. I'm so happy that you like it.
Love it.
Yeah, that's incredible work. Just never cease to amaze me with those many talents.
Thank you.
So
it's the ADHD,
many talents.
Chasing that dopamine.
Just bouncing around from one project to the next.
I have ADHD and internet connection and zero self-regulation. I can do almost anything.
With those ingredients, almost anything is possible. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
You're right. Well, Alebrije, sir, it's an honor to spend a fourth consecutive year talking autos with you and just life and everything.
Likewise, it's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. We missed you this year, Monster, but hope you're doing well.
I checked in with him. He does say hi, everyone, and yeah, hopefully we'll can see him in the Discord. He's been there a couple times lately, so
for sure. But always great to be here with you too.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is ours.
It's all mine.
Yeah, we hope to again keep this with what is it, a tradition, just like the great Alebrije meetup. I don't know, it'll be the right before or after the show on Cultivation Conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty much always around this time of year that I tend to come on. So it's definitely a yearly tradition. We're not gonna end.
Well, yeah, dude. Well, again, yeah, appreciate your passion for what you do, and just you being you, man.
Well,
thank you very much.
Well, thanks for all you guys do for the community, and love the show, and I appreciate all the education, and thanks for you guys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to you guys in the chat for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Check out our website, new website, cultivationconversation.cc. Come join us on Discord. And follow us on IG if you hadn't already, now that I have a page again. And if you feel like it, you can support us on Patreon. So, many ways to come join the family. And most importantly, till next time, don't get caught.
Peace out, y'all.